welcome. You actually made the first step to dive into magic of all things what we do. We are organizing these events just for you to see something behind the scene. Today you will have the opportunity to see one of our coolest team. And before we will jump to that, let me give you some short introduction about the company. So we as a StatsPerform are fully about sports data. We have started our business 40 years ago in Chicago, where we started to analyze baseball data. Then we did basketball, and actually now we are covering tens of various sports. The majority of that is football. It represents, let's say, half of everything what we do. But this is not only a football company. We are also analyzing data related to basketball, to cricket, to even tennis. We are actually exclusive provider of data to WTA, Women's Tennis Association. We are very proud of that. What is making us unique on the market is that we are at the beginning of the chain. We have thousands of people who are actively going on stadiums with some smartphone or with some hardware, and these people are pressing button about what is happening on the playground. So when the goal happens, our AI models can generate within 3 seconds various predictions or forecasts about some further development of the game. We do not have only people on the stadiums, but we have also people in our operation hubs, which we have several across the globe, and there are sitting people who are actively watching those live streams from the stadiums, and they are storing much more detailed information about those games. For example, which foot the player made the goal with, who did the pass, what is the position of the ball. So they are storing much more detailed information about the game with a huge support of computer vision as well. And actually, we will be talking about computer vision today as well. When we collect those data, this data goes to big data lakes, so the big data queues, and then via APIs, it goes to our application. So we are a product-based company. We have our own products. There are something about 50 products which we are selling to our B2B customers, and our customers are from 3 main areas. First of all, these are media and tech companies. So for example, Google is also one of our customers. Then also betting companies. We as a company are not hazard, we are not a gambling company, but we sell our data to 10 biggest betting companies on the planet, and we provide them various kind of data. There can be just the raw data with very low latency for bookmakers to have the data as soon as possible. And there can be also some sophisticated products such as win probability, fraud detection, or even some projections, predictions, and so on. Last group of our customers, these are our clients from various sports organizations, clubs, sport teams, and we are sending them process data about performance of players or performance of whole teams. They are mainly using it for scouting purposes or evaluation of the performance of whole teams. It is worth to mention that we are collecting only public data, so only data which you or me can see. We are not interested in any health-related data to those players or their contracts. So it is about analyzing the public data which we have access to. Maybe we are selling these products all over the world across multiple sports. Here in Central Europe, we focus on the engineering. So we are located here in Prague, in the Czech Republic, and we have for 3 years now the software engineering hub here, where are sitting something about 80 software engineers who are working on those projects and rolling them on another sports. Similar engineering hub is also based in Katowice in Poland, and in this region we do have also innovation hub, which is based in Graz in Austria. These are not the only countries where we have software engineers. We have also some people in London, where is the European headquarter, in Chicago, the global headquarter, and also in India, where is a big data center. So it is a really global and really international environment over here. When it comes to the tech stack, I want to touch it only a little bit from the recruiter point of view. We do mainly backend things, and actually it's simple because in nutshell what we do is that we take some live data compared with historical one, create some pattern out of it, and send it via data feed towards the customer. And this is mainly done in Java. So my colleagues in the Scrum teams are usually using Java on the backend. Heavily, they are using also Python, and this is something what we will be talking about here because Python is used for data engineering, for machine learning, AI, and so on. When we want to visualize some data, when we have some full stack application, we use JavaScript and React, then also Node.js. We have a lot of TypeScript, heavily used for QA, C++ for computer vision, a little bit of C# and .NET. We try to deploy everything to cloud, to AWS. We are actually one of good customers of Amazon, and we will be touching this a bit as well. What I want to further mention that there are some upcoming events coming where you can also learn some more information about StatsPerform. On Tuesday, the October 17, we will be actively participating on COFIT Job Fair here in Prague. This is an event organized by Czech Technical University's IT faculty. The same week on Tuesday, 19, we will attend HackerX over here. This is actually the second event this year in Prague, and we have the privilege to act as a gold sponsor. So you can find us over there. And last thing I want to mention that late of November or early December, we will be also organizing a watch party here in our office. We do not know the date yet because we want to wait until we have some really exciting match, which we can see, and we can also showcase our products. And by the way, I want also point out our sales representative, Jiří Karlec. Actually, Jiří started to place some of exciting posts about our products in relation to recent support events on LinkedIn. So if you are not actually following him there yet, you are definitely missing an interesting sports-related news. I will be sharing the right link on his profile during the event on the chat box. So now I'm thrilled to introduce Karel. Karel is, as I mentioned, our senior product owner. Karel is the rock star behind our machine learning productization team, and he will tell you more about what they do in the team, how does look like their tech stack. He will be also introducing some of our products they work on.
Good afternoon and welcome also from my end, from the late afternoon, sunny afternoon from the Prague office. So whenever you are, hope you are on the same. And today I would like to talk about how and which way we do things in ML product team. So my name is Karel Sousek and I work as product owner for machine learning productionization team. And yeah, here's the brief agenda for this session, which should take, let's say, 20-25 minutes latest. And then, of course, we will have enough time for your questions. So the agenda for this session is that I will explain you where our team sits within the organization and what's our main focus. Then I will talk a little bit also like from the, let's say, the product development and delivery point of view, because it's really like exciting how a company like StatsPerform is trying to do machine learning and AI stuff like product. Then I will touch in more detail than Ladislav mentioned about our technology stack in ML product team and related teams. Then I will go a little bit back to the Optavision product, because that's the example which I decided to choose for this presentation, because it's one of the biggest projects within our company. And then I will mention our achievements and challenges we are facing in our team, because of course not everything is shiny as today afternoon outside. And then we will finally have enough time for your questions and answers. So with that, let's start how machine learning and AI stuff is done in StatsPerform, because yeah, you probably know AI is like buzz for last couple of months due ChatGPT and so on. So now basically every company in technology area is doing something in that. But in StatsPerform, we believe we are far further in this, because machine learning and AI stuff is being done for a couple of years already. So we were able to kind of progress in like the process and all the setup and like establish specific teams which are contributing to all machine learning activities we are doing with the sports data. So if I will start more like from the overall picture, as Ladislav mentioned, StatsPerform is a sports data company. So we are collecting a lot of sports data from various sources, and we are trying to enrich them in our ML product team, and then make them available to our customers, because the overall goal is to inform our customers and then subsequently like the fans, like you, like me. So for example, if you are a fan of some soccer team or a tennis player or ice hockey team, then of course you are curious how these teams are performing. But yeah, this was happening for many years. But as fans are looking for more detailed and more let's say engaged data, that's the goal why at all most of these machine learning pipelines were created within our company. So our team is responsible for designing and building and basically then maintaining tens of machine learning pipelines. And what we do with cooperation with other teams, I will mention in the next slide, is that we mainly provide the solution architecture. And here is the goal that this solution is scalable, resilient, and has the lowest possible latency, because most of these pipelines are running live. So when the match is happening, we are ingesting data to our pipelines, we are processing, we are enriching them, and then we publish the results within seconds, or to be more precise, within milliseconds, because yeah, that's what's needed these days, because we have various types of customers. As I mentioned, these customers could be like technology companies like Google, Apple, and so on. These could be TV broadcasters who use our live data during the matches. And of course, it could be also the betting companies. And last but not least, our customers are also like the professional clubs who use then the data for advanced analysis, for recruitment, and etc. So really, like, this is from the product point of view really exciting, because these data could be used for different use cases. And then of course it means that it could be quite challenging in some moments for our team to process all this data and provide them as soon as possible. So solution architecture is let's say the most important thing we do. Then we do some data and feature engineering, and overall we are responsible for whole infrastructure for each machine learning pipeline. And as mentioned, we are powering tens of these models currently. Main sport for which we provide this pipeline is soccer, and that was that example of the Octavision product, which was played a few minutes before. For soccer, we do predictions and metrics like live win probability. We do season simulation. We produce predictions on metrics like expected goals, possession value, momentum, power rankings, etc., etc. We have pretty cool website, dedicated to this analysis. So it's located on theanalyst.com. So yeah, we can either share the link later on, or you can try to Google it, where you can find like the details on these predictions and metrics. Except soccer, we support also other sports as mentioned. So basketball, NBA, American football, NHL, then ice hockey and tennis or cricket are the main sports. Okay, so here I would briefly touch where our team stands within the company. Because as mentioned, we are collecting the data, then we do the magic around them, if I say it this way, and then we distribute and present them to our customers. So we sit, let's say, in the middle of the chain, because the other teams are collecting the data, and then they send this data to our data platform. That's in the diagram, the box called GSDP, which means like Golden Standard Data Platform. And from this, we typically take this data, and together with our AI and data science team, we run those machine learning pipelines, and then we publish back the predictions and update the data for our customers, who access to these data through our sports data APIs. So we have basically two main APIs. through which our customers are getting the data. So as you can see, our scope really is in the middle of all this product chain, let's say. So yeah, we are relying on the data engineering team. We are relying and collaborating on the AI and data science team, and of course on the data collection team. So that's this one. And as mentioned, these are the three main teams we are working with. So data science, who at the end design and train the machine learning models. So what we do is that we create the skeleton of the model, but then itself like the filling the lambdas within AWS. It's mainly on a data science team. We collaborate on some data preprocessing with our data scientists. So stuff like integration, transformation, cleaning data, that's definitely something where we are working tightly together. Then there is other dedicated team, which is the machine learning platform team. And that's the team who is maintaining components of the machine learning infrastructure. So we are using tools like MLflow, ML model serving solutions like Cortex, AWS Lambda. I will touch this in detail a little bit later on. And of course, this team is responsible for cloud training infrastructure for all these machine learning models. And then there is a data engineering team, which is mainly responsible, or the main goal of this team is to consolidate all stats performs data through that GSDP data layer. So here the main goal is to have like one centralized location of all the data and support that we have like clearly defined processes and tooling is defined, and at the end that everything works smoothly. Okay. So before we deep dive into our technology stack and a specific example of the Optavision architecture and how it works on the background, just a brief introduction how MLProd team works in terms of, let's say, development and delivery, so like the process point of view. So within our teams, there is typically like the setup that there is, of course, the engineering team, which is led by engineering manager or tech lead. Then there is a product owner, and then typically there is also product manager. Yeah, from my experience, I know that like these roles, the product owner, product manager, could be one role, but in most of the teams here, it's divided, and there is really quite good purpose for this, because like the product owner within engineering teams could be focused more on the technical point of view, while really the product manager is typically someone who is facing our clients and is gathering the requirements, etc., etc. And if you can. If you remember that I was talking about the fact that really our portfolio of customers is really wide, and we have like 4 main buckets from the technology, from the professional clubs and leagues, betting companies, and so on. So yeah, that make perfect sense that these two roles, product manager and product owner, are divided. But in a nutshell, we all these 3 groups are working on and are aligning on that and making sure that new products and feature enhancements are synchronized. And then we work, of course, on the product maintenance and the platform development, so that all the pipelines and everything around them is working as expected in a fast way and without any errors. In terms of, let's say, the Agile and Scrum ceremonies, here we are like not reinventing wheel, I would say. So we are sticking with the current best Agile and Scrum ceremonies used in most of the companies. So we are relying on the Jira and Confluence stuff in terms of software, and in terms of ceremonies, we are having daily things, backlog refinements, sprint planning, which we do every 2 weeks in our company. And of course, then we are trying to demo the work we do. And of course, we do also retrospectives. It can differ from team to team. So not all meetings are doing same for every team. So, and that's by the way, one of the principles of Agile, that nothing is set in stone. So each team can do it a little bit differently. But overall, like for example, the sprints, like the start of the sprint, end of the sprint, is the same across whole company. So for all teams, it's the similar, because then it provides us the way to be aligned across the team and across the teams, and better plan future development and new products and features. Here is a brief snapshot related exactly to our ML Prox team. So here you can see that these are the issues we are working on this year so far. So since January to September, and divided the work type divided by sport. So as mentioned a few months ago, you can see that really the soccer is a dominant sport to which are issues we are working on related. So the soccer really dominates. Then of course we have quite big bulk of issues which relates to all sports, because let's say we do also a lot of stuff like the maintenance. We have some technical debt. We do some refactoring, and all this touches basically our whole data account on AWS. So it's related to all sports, and then it goes hand in hand. So it's basketball, cricket, and so on. This one could be also very interesting for you. This is the sprint metrics divided by work type. And here you can see that most of the issues we are working on are aligned with the strategic roadmap. And then the next one is the maintenance. And the next one is the feature enhancements. We do also some regulatory stuff that which is needed. We have some tasks or stories in our sprints which touches the technology itself, and so on. But mainly the work we are doing is supporting the strategic roadmap for the whole company, because the most of the work we are doing, and like the productionization of the machine learning and AI is the growth product within the company. So these metrics which we watch carefully by month or by every sprint, and by month, from month to month or quarter by quarter, supports this. And now finally back to the technology stack. So I believe this is will be the most interesting part for you. So as mentioned, as a company, out of the all available cloud providers, we are relying mainly on the AWS services. So for processing our machine learning pipelines, we are using MSK, Kafka. We are using AppSync, API gateway, and then for streams, we are using also Kinesis streams. And for storage, we are using DynamoDB, Redshift, S3. So all these are creating, let's say, the backbone of our pipelines. For microservices, we use the Lambda, of course, for the code execution. And for communication, we use SNS and SQS protocols. Then, because as mentioned, we are trying to process all the data live or near live, but of course, for some pipelines or for some metrics and predictions, we do like the post-match or post-processing, and sometimes we need to let's say backfill the data retrospectively. So for this, typically we use AWS batch for the batch-based pipelines, which doesn't need to be processed live. So that's for the main AWS services. Then for deploying all these solutions, the main deployment solution is the Terraform currently within our team. And for CI/CD, we use Jenkins and GitHub. And as Ladislav mentioned, like the main programming language is the Python, definitely. So within our team, we are using the Pandas, SciPy, and NumPy data libraries mainly. So that's for the, let's say, the development of the pipelines. And then, of course, we are responsible for the maintenance and for the monitoring. And for these, we are relying on the Elk stacks. And we use also Prometheus and Grafana for the monitoring. And last but not least, one of the goals of our team is to take care of the costs. So yeah, reduce costs as much as possible, because definitely that's something which I believe every data company is looking these days. Here we are relying on the cloudability and Spot, and of course we use AWS CloudWatch also. So these are the main cost management apps we are using. And as mentioned, from the product point of view, product development and delivery from the process, we are using Jira, Confluence, and for the road mapping, we are using AHA roadmap tool. And for communication, of course, we prefer in-person communication as much as possible, but like the main non-in-person solution is MS Teams here in our company. So that's the technology stack. Definitely, if you have some questions, do not hesitate and put questions into our Q&A. And here is the example how one specific machine learning pipeline architecture solution look like. So yeah, so if we will go like from the left to the right, we can see that we are ingesting data through MSK streams typically, and then like we put in the middle few lambdas for the code execution, which create the features and which gather data from the databases like DynamoDB. So we query this database. So either it can be DynamoDB or Redshift or S3. Then we could also gather some additional data from our internal API. And then together with our data science team, we run this pipeline. So like the machine learning models itself are in the middle, in the live predictor, or let's say season simulator lambda in this example. And all this communicates through SNS SQS protocols. Then we can also, as mentioned, we can use some manual input if needed for the pipeline. So that's that Jenkins logo on the right below. And then we publish typically via Kinesis stream the data back to our mentioned golden standard data platform, from which our customers are getting the data through those sports data APIs. So this is of course it's like the let's say the brief picture from the helicopter point of view, and of course the details behind all of these are much more advanced. Probably you can imagine if you are at least a little bit into machine learning and AI. And the overall goal here is to really optimize the Python functions in those lambdas for speed and efficiency. And we try to do it by many ways, but the main ones are that we are trying to leverage the lambdas for concurrency. We are dealing with some parallelization. we are optimizing memory settings, etc., etc. Yeah, it depends on the use case, but in a nutshell, and as I mentioned, most of these pipelines are aimed to be running live. So imagine the typical peaks for us are weekends when most of the matches are happening. So, for example, for the Optavision, which Ladislav played the introduction video, and I will show you more details in a while. We are like processing at the same time really like the quite a lot of games where each game produce a lot of data. So yeah, so it's from both like the engineering point of view and product point of view, it's really exciting because you are having quite a lot of challenges and opportunity to really make impact and optimize the things so everything runs as smoothly as possible. Okay, so this is the example of the architecture, and here just briefly, here is what then the product output look like and what are these pipelines producing at the end. So for the Optavision, we are producing innovative metrics and predictions like line breaking passes, pressure intensity, team shape analysis, or expected pass completion or expected threat. And like the point here is that until now, we were mainly having event data, which is like that goal was happening, that the shot was happening, or that things like this. But with the Optavision, we are also combining that event data with the tracking data, where tracking data means that we are collecting via computer vision the position of the players. So basically, while event data is the data on the ball, the tracking data is everything what's happening off the ball. So if you imagine that we have like the stream of the game, we are trying to collect and like provide all the data what's happening while players are not on the ball, or even while they are not in the stream itself. Yeah, because when there is let's say soccer match, the camera focuses on the players and where the ball is. But of course, the players who are not actively on the play are also doing something on the field, and that's what we are trying to collect. And we are providing these innovative metrics and predictions to most of the European leagues, as you can see. So like the Premier League, La Liga, Series A in Italy. So really, like from product point of view, it's really exciting that we are partnering with top leagues around the globe. And then, as mentioned, our customers are accessing these data through API feeds, or we have even our own solutions, like our own products, like Pressbox Graphics, Pressbox Live, where customers can get this live. Or a tool like Provision, which is used mainly by professional clubs.
Possessing players who have the ability to deliver pinpoint line-breaking passes is a valuable commodity in football, as these passes can result in major disruption to the opposition's defence. Now, using on-field player positional data captured by remote player tracking technology, Optavision is able to accurately capture all situations where a player's pass successfully breaks an opposition line, unlocking new insights into a player's passing ability. When capturing data during a game, Optavision records a successful line-breaking pass when that pass is played forward or diagonally, is played in between at least two players who are part of the defending team's forward, midfield or defensive lines. The players making up the line are at most 20 metres apart and have a depth of no more than 9 metres, and are in active play, either moving towards the ball or covering space. If a line is made up of 3 or more players, a ball played around one of the widest players in that line is also counted as a line-breaking pass. As a result of capturing line-breaking pass data, analysts can now identify valuable performance insights to inform team analysis and player recruitment profiling, including the identity of players in a match who complete the most line-breaking passes, establish which players are key to playing out from the back and breaking the opposition's forward line, and establish the number of line-breaking passes that lead to a chance being created. Line-breaking passes is just one of the first new AI-enriched Opta vision metrics available across dozens of elite men's and women's competitions worldwide, trained on a combination of Opta event and Opta tracking data captured from video, not freeze frames. To learn more about how these unique new insights help broadcasters and professional teams unlock new performance insights, please visit statsperform.com.
All right, I hope you find this video explaining line breaking passes interesting. So so that's the example of what innovative metrics we are providing. Because, for example, these line breaking passes are really of interest of the sports clubs and even TV broadcasters. So they can use it in the break during first and second half. And provide like these enriched or engaging insights about players or team tactics. So yeah, so that's that example. Okay, now back to our achievements and challenges we are facing in ML Pro team. So within this year, I mentioned we provided really this quite complex infrastructure for new features for the Optavision project, which is definitely one of the biggest projects of the for the company. Not even from the engineering point of view, but also like from the let's say like the product development point of view, because it really takes a lot of cross communication among many teams within the company. So yeah, so we consider this as one of the biggest achievements so far. But of course, the year is not over yet. And as mentioned, that we are supporting also other sports than the soccer. We delivered this year a few new pipelines, which were NHL, so ice hockey, where we are now providing live improbability and season simulation predictions. We also introduced women's NBA pipeline, and all these pipelines are running live or near live. And we also implemented some advanced monitoring and alerting system for all these key pipelines. So whenever something happens, and of course, from time to time, something happens, and then we are much more ready than we were on the beginning. And as for main challenges, we are having many of them, but I would like pinpoint these two. One is that, as you can imagine, we are dealing with a lot of requirements coming from each sprint to our team. So even if we are trying like to plan as best as possible, still it can happen that something breaks up and it needs to be resolved within each sprint. So of course it kind of interrupts our regular work, but still we are trying to keep like the ratio between what we are committed in the beginning of the sprint and what we are actually delivering to above 80%. And mostly we are fine, but still, yeah, we have, to be honest, few sprints where we are not, where we have challenges to keep this ratio. And then also mentioned, while most of the pipelines are, let's say, new, some of them were created, let's say, 1 or 2 years ago. And as you can imagine, the technology or the things are moving really fast in machine learning and AI world. So we are dealing with some technical debt. So we are doing some refactoring because we are using some version of Python, for example, and then here's the new version. So we identified that it can really help us to process the data, to reduce latency, and so on. So we need to do regularly these things, and yeah, and then it's all about like the prioritization and comparing it with other priorities or other requirements. So that's that. I would say from product guy point of view, the continuous like evaluation between if we want to have the new products or if we want to have the stable infrastructure. But so far, yeah, I'm quite optimistic. So yeah, we are doing our best, and we are having really talented guys in our team. So yeah, it's a challenge, but we are doing fine in that.
But there is one recent from Shimon, and the question is about what are most used data science services in AWS during prototyping. So how would you answer, Karel?
Yeah, so as mentioned, yeah, we use those couple of Python libraries, and like the main language is the Python, and we rely on AWS stack. So even data science team is using those lambdas for code execution. And as for like the learning, the machine learning models, I believe, yeah, we are using the standards like the TensorFlow, etc. But definitely in this, yeah, we would probably need someone directly from the data science team to reply on this in detail.
Let's continue on the question which was sent during the registration form. Do you use any server reconstruction algorithms for player models or stadiums?
Yeah, that's definitely a really a good question, and here we are at the concept stage with this, because that's that's the future, and that's the one of the goals where we are wanting to get into. So yeah, we are at the concept stage, so some skeletal tracking and 3D animation of the players, but yeah, but we are to be honest in the beginning here.
Okay, I will go with second question, which was also sent to us in the registration form. Can you compare Opta to your competition? I believe La Liga uses something similar called Beyond Stats, based on the logo it's provided by Microsoft. Can you compare these two?
For La Liga, we provide the official event data, and one of our competitors, let's say, provide like that in-venue tracking data. So yeah, so we are, let's say, contributing to this. But if we will talk about the Beyond Stats, I believe that it's I do not have all the details about this, but like what we can provide with Octavision is that really we can combine the event data and tracking data, and that according our learning is we are like the leading in this, and no other company can provide all this together. So that's what we consider as our advantage. And there was also a question related to powered by Microsoft. I believe it means like that probably they use the technology stack from Microsoft for La Liga. So, but in a nutshell, yeah, typically when like you have these different products like Beyond Stats on the background, the companies or like the broadcasters are using really the data from various sources. So it can definitely happen that even if you see some product by different company, then it can happen that the data on the background are also coming by us. That there is really high probability of that. Yeah, I would like to thank you everyone for joining, and I hope that you find it at least a little bit interesting, because yeah, as I mentioned, really like the amount of data we are working it, we are processing, we are enriching, and combined with the fact that it's the sports data, which is at least for me personally something I'm passionate about. It's really the great fit. So yeah, so if you find it interesting, then yeah, we would love to be in touch with you.
We will be happy if we can join us in our second meet and greet session, which will be in October. We will announce the date quite soon. So have a nice rest of the day, and thank you very much for being with us today.